welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be talking about all things Notion. I did a video not too long ago about how I organize community events, and I mentioned that I use Notion quite often to keep me on track and on schedule with things. And I had some of you guys ask me to do like a tutorial video, so that is what I'm going to do today to kind of give you guys the insight on how it has helped me as an event curator. So before we get started, make yourself like a matcha, iced latte, grab a drink, and let's talk about Notion. Before we get started, I'm going to ask you guys to like and subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be doing a lot more videos about organization and giving you guys the behind the scenes kind of footage of the event planning process, because I have so many more events that I want to put on this year outside of the Temple Art Market. So if you're interested in seeing more of that, hit the like button, hit the subscribe, hit the notification so that you are first in line to know when I have a new video coming out. So, all right. Without further ado, let's talk Notion. Okay, so we've switched our point of view. I am in front of my desktop, and I'm going to walk you guys through how I utilize Notion. If you don't know what Notion is, it is an organizational platform. You can use it for pretty much anything in your life, whether it's personal, professional, business related, pretty much anything. There's so many different tools that this platform has, and I'm constantly learning new things about the platform almost every single time I open the app. Welcome to the Temple Art Market Notion page. I love this page. It has taken me some time to kind of customize it and make it my own, and I am always constantly editing it, but that's the fun thing about it. I can change it whenever I want to and add new kind of things to it. I'm just going to give you a brief, just kind of like a skim overview of what's all on this page. So I think it's super important to have pretty much everything you need all in one place and labeled correctly. It is going to help you streamline the process. It's going to make the entire event planning process so much more efficient, and that's what we want. We don't want to waste time. We want to keep this as efficient as possible so that we are keeping to deadlines and everything stays relatively smooth. As an event curator, some things will get a little chaotic. You'll have to pivot when necessary, but controlling what you can is going to help the process be that much more simpler. So here's the Notion page. So let's just walk through what I have. On this side here, I have the documents and forms links. So I have the link to our Eventbrite. This is where people will go to get their free RSVPs. I have the vendor application. This is where artists and artisanal vendors and small business owners they'll click, well, they don't have access to this Notion page, but this is just the link to the vendor application where they will apply to be a vendor at the art market. And then I have a vendor survey form. This is what we send to our vendors after an event, just to get a little bit of feedback on how we can improve the event, because we're all about growth. So I have those documents here, and I have this really cool thing. It's called a toggle, and it allows you to collapse and to expand certain things. I love it because I don't want to see everything all at one time. It can be overwhelming, so I have that option there. Here on the left, I have the objective, so that we are always reminded what the mission is. I have team roles. Again, I'm using this toggle option. Allows me to collapse and expand. Love it. I think you will too. And then I go even further and I create individual pages, and in these individual pages underneath the title will give a full scope of work of the job description. So it's labels out my responsibilities as the event director. It'll label the responsibilities of the event manager and the responsibilities of the creative director. And then I even have a shot list here for the creative director, so they know what images we really need to focus on at every single market, so we can collect them for social media and for other kind of marketing purposes. So have that. Gonna collapse everything again, make it easier. Here are the logins. This is a login for every single kind of like platform that we have. I cannot emphasize enough how important it is to have everything all in one place. That way, if people are trying to communicate with me and trying to get information, they're not waiting for my response, because in that time that they're waiting for my response, that can delay getting things done. So having everything all in one place really does help, so that they can access the information that they need and they can get things done within the time frame that is allotted for them. So have that there. Next is my task and content calendar. So my creative director and I, we work off of this calendar the most. I put task to do dates on here, and then also we have post dates on here as well. There are so many different databases in Notion. I prefer the calendar database, but there's also, I'll show you this one. So like the vendor database. There is this table database, which is super useful, and you can kind of choose which database you want to use based on the information that you're collecting. Again, it is your preference, to each their own. I like these ones. Anyway, so I use the calendar one for the content and task, and it's relatively simple. You will look at the calendar in its entirety, and how I do it is that I will add a page or an item on the date that something is due. So I'll go ahead and I'll click on it, and it will pop up this new page. This new page, I will add what the task is. So the task might be to post, right? I might want you to post a reel or IG carousel, right? And underneath you can input additional details. So here, the due date. Maybe I want it due on April 29th. So the cool thing about Notion is that you can add individuals that are a part of your team onto this, so they can help you kind of track your tasks and help you to get your projects done. So when it comes to creating a task, you can link a certain person to that task, and what will happen is that Notion will then email that person directly stating that Megan added you to this task. These are the additional details. This is the due date. This is the status, yada, yada, yada. All that jazz. Status is great. You have the opportunity to just put not started, in progress, or done, and you can add additional tags. I created these tasks. They did not come created, and I color coded them myself. So I added whether this post is supposed to be IG, whether it's supposed to be a newsletter or Substack newsletter, whether it's a direct email or we're posting it on LinkedIn or TikTok, all of those things. And if it's something that we want to add to all of our social media, I'm gonna click all of them. Boom. Boom. And then here you can click on this kind of like plus button on the side, and I will just do maybe like a to-do list and kind of just like jot down the things that I need to do in order to make sure that this task is done in its entirety, and check off each one once I get them done. So it's super simple. And then boom, now it lives on here, but I'm gonna actually get rid of that because that's gonna be confusing. We have to look at it later. But yeah, that's kind of like the gist. So that's how you create something. Actually, this is new too, so we're gonna get rid of this as well. Cool, cool, cool. So we have a bunch of different things here already. We have days that we're supposed to post. We have when we're reaching out to certain artists to help us create the event flyer. I have the event flyer due date on here. I have when we want to post like reels with like trending sounds, or when we want to post our DJ, like doing a DJ spotlight or a vendor highlight, or when we're posting connection challenge. All of that stuff lives on here, and this is really to help my friend and my creative director kind of like, you know, stay on top of this social media posting. And so under here, I have the vendor database, and this database is actually a table view. Like I said, there are a bunch of different databases on Notion. I would highly suggest that you spend some time to kind of just play around with the platform yourself and figure out which databases work best for you. I like the table, I like the gallery view, I also like the calendar view as well, but they do have a timeline option and they have some other different options too that you can kind of just play around with. But for the vendor database, I have all of the vendor information here. So this database includes all of our past vendors from every single market that we have done. And I'm hiding a lot of the information on here because a lot of it is private, but I do kind of categorize them based on what they are selling or what they're making. So we have ceramicists, we have glass artists, we have florists. I have, if I go down more, I have jewelers, I have candle makers, painters, photography, all of that jazz. And then I have additional kind of like columns here that helps me track it overall. Actually, some of these need to be like redone, but I have additional columns. Like I have the vendor contract column, which allows me to kind of mark whether or not they have signed the vendor form. If they have signed it, I will go ahead and just indicate here that they have, and if they haven't, I will just remind myself that that's something that they need to sign. Under the select option here, I will then, after everything has been signed, under the select option, I'll go and I will do a little digging on their Instagram, on their website, on their Etsy page, whatever they have, and we'll kind of like indicate if they fall in line with what we are looking for at the art market. If they are indeed an artist or an artisanal vendor and make things with their hands, we'll either put them in approved category, wait list, or we will pass on them. And then I have the invitation. So if they are approved, did I send an invitation? Yes, I'll hit send. I'll also indicate on this database whether or not they are asking for a 6x6 foot, a 10x10 foot, or if they're a food vendor. And then afterwards, we have our status. So once their invitation has been sent and the 48 hours have passed, I'll indicate whether or not they have paid and they are a confirmed vendor, if they've decided to pass, if they are a vendor that I want to pitch or I need to repitch to. I have these options, and then I have a comped option as well. And the comped option I really only use for nonprofit organizations because I want nonprofits to come to the market, talk to people about the programs and the initiatives that they are doing within the community. And I think that's super important to have at the art market outside of just art. We are a community market. So that comped option is there for the nonprofits. And then I have a notes section here, and you just jot down any notes, any time that you've communicated with them, you followed up with them, or if they've needed a little bit additional more time to pay their vendor fee, all of that information goes there. And then again, here's the collapse button. So I love that. Yeah. Okay, so another thing that I want to suggest that you have if you are doing a vendor market is having some type of a vendor form. And in that vendor form, include all of your information. Literally all of your information that you need to communicate with your vendors should be in this form. So if we look at my form here, I kind of like outline what I'm really looking for. So at the Temple Art Market, we are looking for vendors that are artists, painters, ceramicists, or just artisanal vendors, things that are made with your hands, that you have made with love. And that's the focus of the art market, is that we want to bring back artisanal goods. We want to amplify artisanal goods because things that take time to make, they're made with love, they're made with intention, and we really want to highlight that at the art market. So I've highlighted that you must sell artisanal products made by your hands or prints that have been inspired by your original artwork. That is key. And then we just have some questions that we like to ask our vendors just to make sure that we are aligned. I ask them what options they would like. I ask them which market they would like to come to. We ask basic stuff like their name, their email, their business name, their cell phone, their IG tag. I also ask, what are you selling? This is super important. Are you selling ceramics? Are you selling jewelry, crochet? Are you selling sewn or homemade goods? Are you a painter, an illustrator? Are you selling stationery or floral arrangements? Like, let us know what you are selling. This also helps us to kind of determine who we're going to be picking as our vendors, because we really do want a variety of different artists and artisanal vendors at the market. So this allows us to kind of like gauge how we can diversify the vendors at the market. And then there is a terms and conditions on this vendor form, which kind of just highlights what my duties and responsibilities are as an event curator and what their duties and responsibilities are as a vendor. So I kind of just like highlight that, like what their payment and their fees are, their product restrictions, what they're supposed to be doing for setup and tear down, the hours, what happens in case of harsh weather or if we cancel, like what our refund process is, liability and insurance, code of conduct, and overall agreement. So I have all of that in the vendor application form. And like I said, I also have this linked directly onto my Notion page. So it's just easy access, which is nice. I can just click on a Notion and be like, oh, I know I need to look at my vendor application. Boom, it's right there. Or I need to look at my vendor survey. Boom, it's right there. So that's that. Another thing that I have, like I said, is my vendor survey form, which I'll show you guys. This we send out to our vendors after our event. So this is part of our event recap duties. It gives them the opportunity to give me honest and truthful feedback anonymously. You can tell me if you like the market, if you were satisfied, or if you were dissatisfied with it. You can give me notes on how you think that I should improve, or suggestions that you think that should be included in the market to really bring in more people. You can let me know if you felt like you were cared for by me as the host or other people that are working the market. That is what the vendor survey is for, is how can we improve, not only for you as the vendor, but for the community as a whole. So that is something to have. And if you are an event curator, it is part of the job. You have to take constructive criticism. You have to take feedback. I know that sometimes it can be very difficult, but you have to. Okay, you absolutely have to. It is part of the job. It's part of the job. God, I need a drink of water, and I'm hungry. I'm gonna get myself a snack. Okay, so I think this is kind of just like the whole little overview. I think I went through everything. But yeah, definitely play around with it. Check out Notion. I do have a link if you are interested in checking it out. You can sign up with my affiliate link that I will have in the description box below. But yes, play around with it. Set aside some time to kind of just look at all the different options that they have, create your home page, create different pages, create different database and different tasks. The best way to learn is to actually do. So have a little bit of fun. You'll probably organize it completely different, and that's completely okay. You want to make sure that it is something, one, that you like to look at, so make it aesthetically pleasing, but you also want to make sure that it is something that is going to help you in the long run. I think that's pretty much it. That's all I have for you guys today. I will have like a behind the scenes video for the next Temple Art Market. We have one coming up on June 7th, and we're in the process of getting ready to do like the event flyer. I'm looking for a DJ, so I will be filming kind of like a behind the scenes, spend the day with me as I plan the Temple Art Market. But until then, I want to thank you guys for sticking around. Again, if you have any additional questions, leave them in the comments. I would love to keep talking to you guys in the comment section below. If you're interested in learning more about behind the scenes on event curation and party planning, definitely give this video a like and subscribe to my channel, because I'll have a lot more of that stuff coming to you too. And hit that notification button so you are the first to know when I upload something onto this YouTube channel. That's pretty much everything that I have today. I'm gonna go ahead and log off because I'm thirsty. I've been talking for a long time and I'm hungry and I need to get something in my belly. But yeah, until then, thanks for watching. See you guys later.